Hey, it's Mahesh here, and today I'm in the Gentlemen and Rogues Club with John, who's over from Beaumont, Texas.
How y'all doing? I don't have anyone around me who's got beards or anything, and it's only kind of recently that I've been able to grow a beard out. 'Cause my old work, I had to shave every now and again. But like shaping it, anything like that, and what's the best thing for me to do?
Okay. So yeah.
Please teach me.
Yeah. So it's about how you look after your beard, then, really, isn't it? So
Yeah.
How long have you grown this out for?
On and off started in 16, and it grew out, and then I had to shave it for work. We were having respirators and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then as of last October, I'm not working there anymore, so I can actually grow it out.
Right.
So this was from November, and I've trimmed it once myself.
Right.
But I don't know if I'm doing a good job or.
That's fine. Well, to be honest, it's going to be easier for you to look after once it's in a better shape, because the shape. So instead of you trying to dry a shape into it, if the shape's already cut in, all you've got to do is dry it off, and it will just sit like that. Okay. So that will help you tremendously. Yeah. Just the fact that we've cut a shape into it for you. Okay. So, but it's about how you want it to look. I mean, at the moment, you've got a bit of a Kenny Rogers thing going on, haven't you?
Wow, I didn't know about that.
Which is not a bad thing.
Well, yeah, hey, it works. It works for old Ken.
That can be the thumbnail, can't it? Kenny Rogers sees Mahesh for a beard trim.
England's Kenny Rogers from Texas. Yeah.
The English Kenny Rogers from Texas.
Let's turn that one around a few times. Well.
So let's talk about the hair, and then we'll talk about the beard. So what do you want to achieve?
Cleaned up something, a good base to go from, because as I said over there, finding a barber. Well, crikey, I've found one, and then before the night before my last appointment, he moved out of state. I was like, oh, great.
Right, that's not very helpful.
No. So then I was like, oh well, I'll just come over and see you.
Yeah. Okay.
So probably tape it at the back, fairly short. Some less length at the back if you think I can get away with it.
Yeah.
And keep some length on front.
Yeah.
I don't know, just lightening up.
Yeah. See, I for me, how you've got it at the moment, I really think this would really look great as just a classic scissor cut. Okay. Rather than using clippers. I think your hair sits really nicely. It'd be a really nice way of using the scissors in today, and it will grow out softer. Okay. Okay. So it maintains that look. And then with the beard, are you going to keep this length through here?
Yeah, I do actually. I'd like to keep it growing and getting it a bit longer, but I need some help.
Okay, cool. So I think what we'll do is we'll cut the hair. And then once we've cut the hair, we can see how the beard's going to sit in with the haircut, and so that it all marries in together, and we'll take it from there. Cool. Okay, John. So we're going to start with the hair. Now, if we clipper the hair, we don't normally clipper wet hair. But we're going to do a scissor cut today for you, because we're going to maintain a little bit of that softness and a little bit of that length. So let's just damp it down a little bit. It's easier to work with. So when you're using scissors, it's actually better on the material of the scissors. So it's better on the metal. It's actually better for the scissor to cut wet hair. What happens is you use a harder metal on the barbering scissors, and hairdressers tend to have a softer metal on their scissors because they tend to use clean, wet hair, but we tend to use drier hair and hair with product in. So we have a harder metal on our scissors, but I still like to work with wet hair because it moves better. Let's start at the sides, and we'll take a little bit off just to see how you like the length on the sides that I'm cutting in. I think we're going to go around the ear just to clean all this up. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. Absolutely. You living in Texas.
Yeah.
And then you were in South Sea? Southend?
Yeah.
You've been in Southend?
Yeah, my mum lives in Southend, so I'm just over here for a month visiting her.
Nice. And then you thought that you'd take the opportunity to come and visit us?
Absolutely. I've been seeing you guys on social media, and I really like how you guys are with what you do. And I thought, well, hell, I'm going to be over in England, might as well go down there and make the most of it.
So how long did it take you to get here this morning?
3 hours.
3 hours? Yeah, nice. So we're going to So I really appreciate you coming all this way. It's nice to see somebody who's, prepared to travel that far to look good. So I'm going to just shape this around so you can see that I'm cutting not into the hairline. We're just accentuating any hairline that he's got here. We're just going to carry on that line, natural hairline. So when I push it back, it looks a little bit softer. And then I'm using my comb just to section off, and I'm cutting at an angle. So I'm cutting down. This is the angle that I'm cutting because this is the direction that the hair's sitting. So I'm cutting with direction up until the back of the ear. And then from this point, I'm then going to travel over to the other side, and we're going to cut both sides in before we carry on any further. But you can see there's a little bit of weight here. So I'm going to take that little bit of weight away, scissor over comb that. But still I've got my comb at an angle, the same angle and the direction that I'm going to be getting the hair to sit. So you can see the hair's naturally wanting to sit like that now. So let's just clean up behind the ear. So straight away you can see from the front that we've got retained a little bit of length through the top just to help it to sit back, and then it's tidy and nice and clean through here. So we'll carry on the opposite side. So tell me, what took you to America, and how long have you been out there then, living?
Crikey, sports are what took me out there.
Sport?
Yeah, I fell in love with the country many years ago, and was fortunate enough to represent this country in American football.
Right, so you played American football
Over here.
over here in the UK?
Yep.
Right.
And
so who were you playing for?
The Sabres. That was the first team I played for, and we won the national championship 92, 93. So yeah, a long time ago. I was only a kid, and ended up playing for Great Britain, and was very fortunate. Got to travel across the States and Europe, and I was very blessed, very blessed. But I had an opportunity for a job in training athletes, and I took it. I took that opportunity and ran with it, but didn't run far enough. I ended up meeting a young lady and getting married, and not doing that anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was a long time ago. No longer together.
Okay.
But yeah, I was already pretty Americanized at that point.
Were you?
Yeah.
So what are you doing now then? So you went from coaching sports to now where are you present day?
Now I'm very lucky. I get to help people.
Nice.
I fell into a company where, because we have a lot of natural disasters over where we are, storms, hurricanes, and stuff like that. So I actually help people if they've not got the right insurance or stuff like that, help them try to recoup some of their losses when everything goes pear-shaped for them.
Wow.
Yeah, it's insurance adjusting, but we take on the insurance companies so people actually get a fair shake.
Okay, John. So we're just as you can see, we're straight away taking in the sides makes a big difference and cleaning up the ears. And just want to make sure that, you know, it sits back. I'm making sure I'm not cutting too much off so that, you know, when you're doing it yourself, you're not going to have hair sticking out the sides.
Thank you.
And I've noticed your hair is quite strong, like it's got a tendency to stand away from the head a little bit, so I'm just making sure that I don't cut it too short, because it'd be one of those things you either have to cut it really short or keep it a little bit longer. Anywhere in between, it's just going to stand out. So, okay, good. So I've got the sides cut in. So I'm going to blend the back in here, and we're going to taper this back in. So I'm going to come in from the sides, and I'm going to carry on that same sort of angle. So I want the hair to taper inwards. So my hands are in the direction that I want the hair to move. And I'm picking up some of my last section. So I'm always picking up part of the last section that I cut as I move on to my next section. So I can see underneath here where my last hair section is. So I know that I'm cutting nice and even. Okay, so we're going to connect the sides and the back in by just following the natural hairline coming down. So you can see that I'm leaving this at the moment because I'm going to decide whether to sharpen up or whether just to taper it in. I might just scissor over comb this and just taper that in. And I've taken that weight out from this area, that there was a lot of weight through here, so I've taken that out, and we're going to carry on cleaning up this side and just carry on the natural hairline, so I'm not cutting into the hairline, we're just following the hairline. Just making sure it's all clean and tidy. Okay, so I'm going to scissor over comb this very bottom section. Until I soften up that line, that baseline, that hairline. So I'm cutting up. I don't want it to look too squared off. I want it to look a little bit softer. So I want it to look like he's not just had a haircut, because I think that will suit the style that he's got at the moment. Okay, so with the top section, because John wears it over on this side, but as you can see, it sort of overhangs a little bit now. So what I'm going to do to start with, we're going to take it the opposite side. And I'm going to cut the length that I want through the front here. So I want it to be about by the eye. So I've got a steep angle. I'm going to cut it like that on the opposite side that he's wearing it. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I want this side to blend in, so that if he gets hair flying over on this side, it's a windy day, he's not going to end up with random long bits of hair that looks like a comb over. So what I'm doing is I'm going to roughly cut it to this side of his hair, so that it will have a blend. So if it does come over to one side, this isn't gonna cause an issue. So you can see that, you know, if this came over now, it would look okay, but actually I know that you wear it on this side. And then instantly now, so that now has made that blend in on the top. So even if it comes over a little bit, you'll get a bit more of a blend in the sides, okay?
Excellent, thank you.
So it's easier for you to manage. And then you can see that straight away, I've then got a line coming in here through the side, so I can now balance out the haircut a little bit. Now, I'm not cutting it too short through the front because the length is going to keep it back. So I'm just going to connect sides together. So I'm just looking for that weight point. I'm just cutting through the weight point. And then we're just going to square off the top, just to make sure that it's nice and even through the top for you. And what I'm doing is, as I get further and further towards the front, I'm angling the hair away from the head. So I'm angling it away so it gives me that little bit of graduation. If I pulled it all in towards me, it would look short. It would be shorter. But if I graduate it out towards the face, I'm retaining the length. So the length's in here. If I pulled it towards me, I'd end up cutting more hair off. So there's got to be a reason for everything.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. It's almost like I've done it before.
It kind of is. Which is not a bad thing.
Which is not a bad thing. No, it's why you're here, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's why you're here. Okay, so we're just going to bring this down, just check this off. So there's a little tiny long point there. We're just going to square that off.
Yeah, I really need help with this.
Yes, I'm just checking this out and seeing how it sits. So what I'm doing at the moment is just pushing it out and just seeing how what's your natural pattern of growth.
Oh, all over the place.
Yeah, so some people's hair like grows straight out and down.
Oh, lucky.
But you've got like a flick coming on this side. It dips in on here. I'm guessing this is where you try to trim it up yourself, actually.
Just recently, yeah, and it actually ended up showing that wave even more.
Because what happened is, what you've done is you've cut it. So what's happened is you've left the length, and then you've cut it in shorter here. So what that happens is that dips in, and then makes that stick out. So you've basically given yourself like a little ridge, and then the bottom bit of the hair flicks out underneath this shorter section that you've cut in.
Okay, I've got a Sandra D going on.
So we're just going to connect the beard into the rest of the hair. And I'm not going to try and cut too far back into this. So you can see that it sticks out here. So I'm just going to take that off. And then I'm going to just graduate the beard a little bit. So it just softens into that shape. So you can see that it naturally just softens.
I'm getting cold, man. I'll go up maybe allergy.
Maybe you're allergic to me, mate.
No. It does get worse when I get here.
Well, that's what it is. That's what it is then. Maybe just maybe because I know what it is, Carlos. Because you're doing some work.
Oh, there we go.
That's what it is.
Radio bones.
This is what people expect.
Yeah.
If we're nice to each other, they'll think,
Something's wrong.
They've obviously fallen out. They're being
Yeah.
they're being nice to each other. Oh, Carlos, you look nice today. Yeah, so do you, Mahesh. Okay, so I'm going to taper this in a little bit more. So I'm going to come in with a 2. I'm going to come in at an angle across the beard. So I'm not going straight up, taking it off. I'm going to come in and then go up and taper that. Because I think this just needs a little bit more shape. So I scooped it down to see how it sat. Wasn't really sitting how I wanted it to look.
My wife, and she loves it too.
I will say, actually, so last year was the first time I'd ever been to America.
Okay.
And Austin was the place I went, and yeah, I loved it. I instantly felt at home there. I instantly felt like, oh yeah, I could live here, and we spent a couple of weeks there that time. This year I was only in Austin for a week, and then I went back home again. And I was on my own this year. But again, you know, I spent time on my own, just walking around, just hanging out. I think it was nice. I was happy. You know, I was happy on my own. And although you know you're in a city, it doesn't have that doesn't feel like a city. Yeah. You know, it feels like a big town.
It's just a big college town.
Yeah.
Is all it is. With UT there and... Oh, did you guys see the bats?
Yeah, I saw the bats this time. I didn't see the bats last time.
Yeah, I've seen the bats before.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
It stinks.
Okay, now I've got the initial shape. I've tapered it in the sides, cleaned up the cheeks. What I'm going to do is just going to pull it out a little bit and just see what sort of length we've got in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of utility balm. So I'm going to use a little bit of utility balm, just a tiny amount, just to work into the beard, and then I'm going to dry that in, or use heat. So really working it in. That's one of the key things about putting product in, is like a lot of people do sort of do that and then that's it. But that's you know, you haven't got it into the beard. It's the outside front layer of your. Did you use product?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny enough, the Temple Smoke is one I've been trying to get. I just got the samples through the other day.
Right. Okay.
And it was out of stock. I was.
Yeah, it's a popular fragrance, that one.
But yeah, I've gone through a lot of things because I tend to get dry skin in here and directly under the chin here.
Yeah, same.
It bloody annoys me. So I've been using like a moisturizing balm type stuff. It's kind of like a cream.
Do you use so the softener would be good for you, maybe?
I actually, they sent through a sample of that.
Yeah. So
I didn't get a chance to use it because literally it was just before I came over.
Yeah. So that's what I would go for. Use a softener. Oh. So here's a really good tip. When you're drying your beard through, what a lot of people do is they put their brush in right at the top and they start pulling it through. So if your beard's a bit knotty or there's catches in it, if you make sure the very end of your beard is smooth first, as you work your way up through the beard, if there is knots in the beard, you're not pulling the knot through the hair, because the hair through here is smooth already, so it won't bunch up. So if I started in here and it was all bunched up and I was trying to pull it out and it wouldn't work. So I'm pulling the hair through into smoother, drier hair. So make sure you start through the bottom, get that pulled out, and then work your way into the beard. So that's like a really good tip for people who have got longer beards as well, or anyone who's got like a really coarse beard that they struggle with. The same when you're like, you've got a wet beard and you're combing it through in the mornings, you know, comb it through from the ends up. So I like the length. I'm just gonna clean that length up. So I'm just tapering in the edges now, just clearing up this beard. And now I've had a look at the proper length of it and how it really sits. Sometimes it's the width that needs coming in, not really the length that needs sorting out. It's the width of the beard, which is what was the issue really with your beard. It was making you have that hamster cheek look to it, you know.
I've got that already.
That's the sausages you're eating. Make a difference?
Huge. What, CDI?
Yeah.
Wow. And that's the thing, where I've been doing it myself, I've not been sure if I should try and
taper it.
cut here, or if that's the right thing, or.
Yeah. I will be honest. I think you need to try and find somebody out in the States who's near you. Maybe you need to get in contact with Beardbrand, and we can put you in contact with somebody out your way.
If not, you're just going to have to come over there more often.
Well, you know, I'm going to have to come back to Texas again, aren't I? So just clean up the moustache a little bit. I quite like this little bit of length you got going on through here because it's quite nice. It sort of blends in with the beard a bit.
Certainly a lot easier than doing it myself.
Yeah, it's so much easier.
Yeah,
someone else doing
else
it.
doing
Yeah. Even someone who's a barber, you know, all barbers will tell you, you know, that it's so much easier sitting down and letting another barber cut your beard for you, or, you know, no matter how long you've been doing it for, it's still going to be easier for somebody else to do it for you, isn't it? Am I right, Ross? How long have you been cutting hair? 23 years he's been cutting hair, and you know, I've been cutting hair 53 years now. I started when I was in my 30s. I reckon Jack should get a mohawk. I reckon he could rock that. Should have done that whilst I was there, giving Jack a mohawk.
Oh, is he over in the States? Is he over in the States?
Yeah, Jack's the one that does the editing out. He works at Beardbrand, so what we do is we film all the content here, and then we parcel it up. We then send it by courier pigeon to Jack, and then he takes all the raw footage, goes to the dark room, cuts it all up,
And makes a masterpiece.
Okay, so we're just going to clean up this little line here. It's got quite a low neckline here, so we're just going to clean that up a little bit. So do you know this area, John, where we are now?
No, I don't.
Don't know this area.
Down here, yeah.
So you got the coastlines nice along here. If you get the opportunity just to, if you want to take half an hour and go for a little walk up on the Southbourne beach, it's really amazing up there.
Oh, okay.
The beach along there is lovely. And you can see the Purbex on one side, and then on the other side you can see the Isle of Wight. And
Really?
yeah,
What was the first bit that you said?
the Purbex.
Yeah, what's that?
What was the Jurassic coastline?
Oh,
Yeah, so the Jurassic coastline is like World Heritage. So if you stand on the beach looking out towards the sea, on your right-hand side, that's where the Purbex are, and that's the Jurassic coastline. And then on the left-hand side is where the Isle of Wight is and the Needles.
Oh, okay. Without wanting to sound like an idiot,
Yeah.
why is it a Jurassic? I thought in that case all
Because that's
coastlines
where
would
they
be
found the
Jurassic.
first dinosaur.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Down in Lyme Regis.
Yeah, so Lyme Regis is where there's
okay.
there's huge fossil finds down there, and there's also a flatbed area where there's actually still footprints embedded into the ground.
Really?
Yeah. When the tide's out, you can see it. So
Was
Yeah.
it the first dinosaur or the first type of dinosaur?
I think it was the first type of dinosaur
Whatever
yeah.
dinosaur was, I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember what dinosaur it was, but that's why it's become World Heritage there, because the Jurassic coastline obviously is that there's an abundance of
Wow.
fossils found there, and it's beautiful, beautiful. We're going to put some Temple Smoke sea salt spray. Just a little bit. just to give it a little bit of hold. Just to make it look nice and natural when we dry it through. So you can see like the haircut, you know, when you're just drying it straight away, it just wants to sit back. You won't have to worry too much about styling this. Just, you know, just use the hairdryer and the nozzle and just let the nozzle do the work, really. So do you?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't like it.
Well, see, the nozzle gives you direction, that's why I do it.
I use my hand.
Yeah, I know.
use the brush.
Yeah. But, you know, I can use just the nozzle just to do the work. So what I would suggest is, with the top, is dry the sides in, and when you dry the sides in, just allow them just to support the shape of the haircut, okay? Still Muse playing.
Was it?
Yeah.
It just went. Rah!
Yeah, so that's a new album. There's some different tracks on there.
I didn't even know Muse was still going.
Yeah.
Amusing.
I cut the bass player's hair when I was in Texas last.
Yeah?
Yeah. My friend works for Muse, and they were playing at the amphitheater in Austin. And he was like, "Do you want to come and like do a few haircuts backstage, you know, and I'll give you a little backstage tour."
Oh, shoot.
And you can have a look around. Me and Sylvester went. Sylvester works at Beardbrand, and he was like, "Oh, you know, a couple of guys could do the haircut if you're like around." So we sort of swap a haircut for like backstage passes and the show. So I was like, "Yeah, cool."
That's awesome.
And then Chris, the bass player, was like, "Oh, I could do the haircut as well." So I ended up cutting his hair. So that was quite nice. A few people messaged me, were like, "Oh, what did you guys talk about?" I was like, "Game of Thrones."
Spoiler alert.
We didn't talk about music or barbering or hair or anything like that. We just talked about Game of Thrones and Vikings.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow.
Okay.
Abso-bloody-lutely.
Dude, you're looking for the world's most amazing product? Then grab yourself some utility balm. It works on your body, works on your beard, on your hair, on your face, anywhere that you want to hydrate and moisturize. Grab it over at beardbrand.com and upgrade your life. 3.4 ounces is going to last you a long time.